Yo guys, welcome back to the channel. So, what a night it was. The Rumble just ended. I was gonna do a live reaction, take the bits and pieces of it and upload them as individual videos, but I'm here to do a full coverage on it anyways. So, like I said, sorry, I'm a bit out of breath. I had to just run my father home because I watched the pay-per-view with him. So the Royal Rumble started off with the men's Royal Rumble, and it wasn't the best Royal Rumble. It had its moments. One moment in particular, Gunther stood out quite a bit. So Gunther came in at number 1 and lasted until the final 2, which is kind of a theme for the night, which I'll get into in a little bit. So, match itself, not too shabby, predictable, as everybody knows, or if you don't, you shouldn't be watching this because it's going to include spoilers. But Cody Rhodes entered in at number 30. Not too many surprises in this. Edge came back, eliminated Finn Balor, Damian Priest, and then proceeded to get eliminated by Finn Balor and Damian Priest, along with Dominic. Dominic had a great showing. Technically, it was a 29-man Royal Rumble. Rey Mysterio ended up getting jumped by Dominic, and then proceeded to enter the Royal Rumble. But I'm a big Dominic mark, so, I mean, I'm not complaining. Yeah, no, it wasn't terrible. Logan Paul came back after his injury. Cody Rhodes, of course, being the biggest one, going on to win the Royal Rumble. Final 2 being Gunther and Cody Rhodes. For a split moment there, I thought, at the end, because nobody technically replaced Rey Mysterio, I thought The Rock was going to come out at the end. And then what they could have done was like The Rock eliminates Cody Rhodes, challenges Roman for one of the belts, and Cody Rhodes would have had that going for him, being like, oh, well, technically I won the Royal Rumble, and then all of a sudden The Rock returns and so on, and then you could have split up the titles at Mania. But not a big deal. I mean, it happens. Following match was the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. Sorry if I get a little bit distracted. I'm watching the press conference. But yeah, that match, I'm not gonna try and sugarcoat it. It wasn't it. For storytelling, I mean, I loved the effects of it. Everything was like neon. It looked really cool. Bray Wyatt had like this sick glow-in-the-dark face paint. LA Knight's fucking trunks were neon. They were fucking glowing in the dark. Bray Wyatt got the win. Pretty quick match. Probably maybe 8 to 10 minutes. They ended it off with him throwing on a mask similar to The Fiend's. Completely different than The Fiend mask, but in a way, a different version of The Fiend. They fought into the crowd. LA Knight was hitting him with kendo sticks. It was doing absolutely nothing to Bray Wyatt. He ended up locking in the mandible claw on a podium, and then all of a sudden you see Uncle Howdy from above, and I thought it was quite funny. I find stupid things like this so funny. But he just took this fucking leap off of the balcony onto LA Knight. Like a rotating fucking elbow drop, and I couldn't help but laugh at it because it just, like, certain things like that just get me to laugh, and I kind of love it. But following that match, if I had to rate these matches, the Men's Rumble out of 10, I would probably give it a 7 or 8. It wasn't bad. The thing is like, I look forward to the surprise entrance. And they don't, the past couple years they haven't. If you compare it to the 2022 Royal Rumble, this Rumble blows it out of fucking proportion. So, I mean, I'm not going to complain about it. But if I had to rate it, I'd probably give it like a 7.5, 8. Pitch Black, the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match, I honestly don't think it's rateable. 1 out of 5 stars, 2.5, honestly. That's, being generous. As I said, that it was kind of like unrateable. It was just sort of there to be there in a way. Developing Bray Wyatt a little bit more than what he has been developed. Following that, we had Alexa Bliss versus Bianca Belair, and this is the part where I was kind of like, I wasn't feeling it. Bianca Belair, with all due respect, is a great women's champion. I'm not a fan of super long title reigns. Like, I tend to forget that she's the Raw Women's Champion sometimes. Phenomenal athlete. Don't get me wrong. Phenomenal athlete. Phenomenal wrestler. She's good on the mic. But it's just one of those reigns that I tend to forget about. So I was kind of rooting for Alexa Bliss here for, you know, just a nice little change. Yeah, no, Bianca Belair retained. It felt like the match was like 5 minutes. Not too much offense from Alexa Bliss, which was kind of disappointing. At least getting some type of offense in. Or even like a distraction from Uncle Howdy or Bray Wyatt or something like that, just to, you know, not that it destroyed her character, because Bianca Belair is just Bianca Belair and she's a great fucking wrestler. But, can't get my fucking jacket off right now. But, yeah, after the match, video package played where Alexa Bliss looked a bit worried. It was showing a lot of the stuff from when she was with The Fiend. And yeah, there's not too much to say about that. 1 out of 5 stars, I'd give it, again, like a 2.5, maybe 3 stars, being generous. I'd probably give it 3 just because I'm looking forward to what they are going to do with Alexa Bliss. But yeah, following that, we had the Women's Royal Rumble, which I was a bit concerned. I'll go back to match number 1, the Men's Royal Rumble, real quick, because Edge, Finn Balor, Damian Priest, all were battling on top of the entranceway. And Rhea Ripley came out, so on, whatever, typical brawl. Beth Phoenix returned, speared Rhea Ripley. Then the brawl was just sort of done. I just wanted to add in that little piece, because it ties into here. I'm a big Rhea Ripley person. I looked at this Royal Rumble as, like, she was the only person that I could see actually winning it. So it was like, when I had saw her coming at entrant number 1, I was like, fuck, are they gonna pull the trigger or are they not? But I honestly preferred the Women's Royal Rumble match. I know a lot of people, I mean, I posted a short of Rhea Ripley winning it, and I know a couple of the comments were like, oh, it was the worst Women's Royal Rumble ever. Wasn't a lot of surprise returns, besides the fact that we got the return of, like, Nia Jax, who was in it for about 3 or 4 minutes. But I mean, no offense, it's Nia Jax. Chelsea Green returned for 5 seconds. Oh, God. Yeah, not a whole lot. There was a bunch of filler superstars in there. Roxanne Perez made her return, or her debut on the main roster at the Rumble. I thought that her showing was cut a bit short, but still a great performance by her. Another great wrestler. I can't wait to see what the future holds for her. as she is the NXT Women's Champion right now. Interesting part of the whole thing for me was Rhea Ripley entered number 1. Liv Morgan entered number 2. Let me turn this down real quick. But Liv Morgan entered number 2, and they went the full distance. Asuka came in like midway through, which was nice to see her back. Glad that she's going back to the old Asuka character. Kind of reminded me of when she was back in New Japan Pro Wrestling. She came out, she had this fucking dragon mask on. This nice Japan mask on. I loved the attires for the entire pay-per-view. I'm a big attire person, big on setup, stages, attires, the whole 9 yards. But absolutely loved it. She took the mask off. She had all of that New Japan face paint on. She had her hair cut down to about here. I marked the fuck out, dude. I'm a stupid mark, honestly. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it wasn't like a great Royal Rumble. It'll definitely be memorable for me, at least. I want to know what you guys think down in the comments. But Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley went the distance. Both were on the outside of the ring. They had previously went over the top rope. They were hanging on to the apron. Asuka sprayed the mist into Liv Morgan's face. Rhea Ripley ended up eliminating Asuka. It looked like Liv Morgan was getting a hope spot, but they did this sick-ass moment where Rhea Ripley pulled her legs up and gave like a Hurricane Rana. Liv Morgan flipped off the apron. Of course, Rhea Ripley ended up winning the Rumble. If I had to rate that, I would honestly say it was like, I'd give it like a 3.5, 4 stars. 4 at most, 3.5 was like, I enjoyed it. The outcome was exactly what I thought it would be, and what I wanted it to be. So, this is all my opinion. I would give it at the bare minimum 3 stars. I'd say 3.5. So, main event time. And boy, was I off my fucking seat for most of that, man. God damn. So, I didn't know what the fuck Sami Zayn was going to do. I kind of had this feeling that he was going to stay with the Bloodline, but at the same time, I was like, I loved Sami Zayn in the Bloodline. But at the same time, it was like, it's Mania season. They need to spice things up a little bit. Maybe dropping Sami Zayn was the best idea. But I had no idea. I was in between those in my head. Phenomenal match. I have no complaints. It started out a bit slow, picked right up. At one point, Roman Reigns was spearing the fuck out of Kevin Owens. They had a hope spot where he hit a stunner on Roman Reigns, and I got out of my seat thinking that he actually fucking won, when at the end of the day, Roman's going into Mania as the fucking champion. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Cody Rhodes will probably end up taking at least one of the titles off him, if not both. Which I won't complain about. But yeah, so tons of spears, hope spots for Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens ended up getting speared through the barricade. The ref got knocked down. A stunner happened. The audience was counting to 3, so on. He had Roman finished. Whatever. Roman ended up low-blowing Kevin Owens before the ref got back up. Asked Sami Zayn for a chair. Sami's running around looking for a chair. Paul Heyman finds the chair for him. Roman Reigns asks him for the chair, and he doesn't give him the fucking chair. At this point, I'm like, alright, here we go. Sami's done. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Sami's just done with the Bloodline. So Roman eventually gets the chair from him. Turns around, Kevin Owens gives him a stunner. Got out of my fucking seat again. Ref counts to 2.5. Roman kicks out. So on. Kevin Owens picks him up, goes for a pop-up powerbomb. Roman counters it with a Superman punch. Spear through the barricade. Mentioned that part already, but I'm overwhelmed right now, and I'm just excited about the thing. I like talking about wrestling. I love wrestling in general. I'm hoping to get better at this, by the way. This is my first, like, actual sit down and just talk about it. Usually I'm a bit better with talking with someone here. Because they can help me out and remember fully what happened during the pay-per-view. But, so, Kevin Owens gets thrown back into the ring. He rolls back out of the ring, so on. Fucking Roman Reigns is slamming the back of his head back into the steel chair, or the steel steps, repeatedly, like 3 times. Sami Zayn's like, ah, shit, dude, this is fucked up. At the same time, I'm kind of like living in kayfabe, and I'm like, fuck, dude, this is brutal. Rolls him back in the ring. Kevin Owens gets up, slaps Roman in the face, spear, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Whatever. Roman Reigns retains, as he should. And as I thought he would. But dude, it was all over the place. I loved it. No complaints about it once. I didn't complain at all during the match. There was one part of the match where Kevin Owens fucked up, but he carried on. He took it like a fucking champ. Proceeded to hit a couple stomps and a senton to Roman. Climbed the top of the ropes. Went for a moonsault, missed, and so on. But they carried on like fucking champs. So, at the end of the match, the Usos came out, Solo Sikoa came out, they came out with, like, the little tribal fucking necklaces and stuff like that. I can't even think of names right now, dude. I'm so fucking pumped up and shit. But as Jay went to give it to Sami, Roman stopped him. They proceeded to assault Kevin Owens. As Sami Zayn watched on. Paul Heyman ended up having 2 sets of handcuffs. They handcuffed Kevin Owens to the ropes. Beat the ever-living shit out of him, dude. Brutal. Like, it got me thinking that they were even going to include a headshot with a steel chair, like, that type of brutal shit. Super kicks after super kicks after super kicks. But yeah, Reigns went to hit Kevin Owens with the steel chair, and of course, Sami Zayn stopped him. So at this point, Sami's like, this is below you, you shouldn't do this, he's already done for, you retained your title, you don't need to do this, right? At this point, everybody's like, alright, it's just done for. Like, Sami's not gonna be a part of the Bloodline. So Roman's like, okay, well, if it's too low for me to do, why don't you do it? Sami didn't want to do that. Sami sat there and hesitated for what felt like several minutes. And of course, Roman turned his back. And Sami Zayn proceeded to hit Roman Reigns in the back with the chair. At that point, I was kind of like, I saw it coming. But at the same time, it was one of those things that was so good that it was kind of sad to see that storyline with Sami Zayn in the Bloodline. So Jay was just sort of like, what the fuck are you doing? I thought you were my brother, so on. Jimmy proceeded with a super kick to Sami Zayn. Solo Sikoa hit him with the Samoan Spike, and as Jay was watching on, they were looking at Jay like he was supposed to go and give Sami Zayn a super kick. And where things got interesting, this is where I really, really, really got pulled in, as Jay ended up walking out. super fucking smart of the WWE to do this, because now I'm going to sit there and watch 3 hours of Monday Night Raw. Just for that. And if it doesn't happen on Raw, I'm going to sit there and watch 2 full hours of SmackDown without skipping through any of it, just so that I don't miss anything. But yeah, pay-per-view ended up ending. For me, overall, suspense-wise, like, storytelling, and all of that, I'd give it 3.5 stars altogether. Matches-wise, I'd give it 3 stars as well, being generous. I personally liked it. It's something that I would go back and rewatch. And I 100% want to know what you guys thought of the pay-per-view. If you guys disagree with me, let me know what you guys thought down in the comments section. And if you guys want to see more videos like this, even if it's for like Monday Night Raw, NXT every week, SmackDown, eventually I'll get better at this sit down and talking to the camera and talking to you guys and figuring out what you guys want for content, figuring out what I'm having fun doing. I love sitting down and talking and shit like that about wrestling. Got to work on my cussing a little bit, but I'm just fucking pumped up, dude, as I cuss again. Jesus. But yeah, hit that like button if you guys enjoyed. I am now on the road to 250 subscribers. I reached the goal of 100 by the end of January, which I wanted to thank all of you for. And yeah, let's keep building this community, and hit that subscribe button. Turn on post notifications if you actually like me. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.